All right. Good morning, the squids, as PGF Performance likes to say. It's Big Mike here, Mike Groselle. Today I've got Lacy on with me. Say hi to everyone, Lacy.
What's up?
She's my wife. If you've listened, getting some feedback. Yeah, so I am just going to start with the same usual real quick. I'm going to go to my spreadsheet here that I've been going for. So just real quick glance. Morning weight 217.8. So I'm down another half pound. I'm within my weight range. Still dealing with some back issues that are pretty debilitating. I decided to switch my volume of steps to today since Lacy has a ton of honeydews for me. I'm sure I will hit those step goals today. I did I did eat the caloric amount yesterday for today, so I'll just eat a little bit less today, but I think it's going to be fine. So yeah, today is day 6, not 5. We're on day 6 of 33 days before I'm playing.
Can you zoom in?
Yeah.
I can't really see.
Dang it. I did that yesterday. I did that yesterday too, like you suggested.
That's a lot better. Thank you.
150. So yeah, all I said here, just doing more steps today.
Wait, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so I kind of put the spreadsheet together to talk about like what I do each day of the week, typically, how much volume. I'm trying to look because I've been having these back issues, not just back issues, but conditioning issues at tournaments. And so what I did, I have this Fitbit I'm wearing, which is not on my arm right now. It's actually sitting here charging, and it tracks my steps, which is like a good indication of your activity level. Obviously, those steps don't say how hard you're working out, but it does say how much, it shows how much you're moving. And so I averaged it out over the last couple months for each day of the week and said, okay, I want to increase that volume every single week leading up to these 3 tournaments, my volume of activity. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so what I did was I've just been tracking and noting what it is each day, putting it in green if I hit it. If I hit it, it's green. If there's something, if I didn't hit the goal, I'll turn it orange or maybe red, but orange I think is going to be easier to see, and I'm adding these notes in here. So for example, I put also, so there's steps and then the amount of time I'm actually at the gym or working out. So the goal Wednesday, for example, was to work out for 2 hours, minimum 2 hours and 5 minutes. Well, my back gave out like an hour into practice. So I went ahead, highlighted it orange, noted it in here, and then kind of putting that back in my mind in terms of like what, what we're, it's just data. Like I'm just trying to track like right now I'm yo-yoing with this back thing. And so when I get something like that, I want to go ahead and put a note in there. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Got it. All right. And then my calories. So I'm not trying to lose any weight. The only reason I'm doing calories is because I'm trying to maintain my weight. And so I've been eating like 2,700 to 3,000 calories a day. And so what I'm trying to figure out is really how much do I need to be eating to maintain. So I'm trying to figure out what is my maintenance calories to do throughout the summer. Like I'm trying to figure out, it's not just for these 33 days. I'm trying to figure out what's the volume of food to maintain a high level of performance and about my weight for the whole summer. And so that's where I'm going to scroll over here is like where I'm putting what my morning weight is. And then I'm just leaving this. This is the range. My range that I came up with is like 210 to 220. And I use just some I put a chart together of other professional beach volleyball players, how much they weighed at my height. And they were like 205 to 215. I think I'm a little bit bigger build, so I added 5 pounds into the range. I think I'm a bigger build than a lot of those guys. Like I got a big frame. Would you agree with that?
Definitely.
Okay. And then I put some other things like just like motivate, like, okay, I'm on day 3 of going through this, I guess you would call it intense tracking exercise. Sometimes I like to talk about the book I read every morning. The Inner Game of Tennis. I may be switching this up, which we're going to get to later here in a minute. And then I added these the last 2 days as like, for a while I was super obsessed on like losing weight and thought like I had to make this weight number be 215.0, and it's like the most important thing. And I think I'm at the point where like I'm hitting like I feel really athletic. So there's no like I feel like I'm the most athletic I've ever been in my entire life. And so I think it's becoming a diminishing returns. And so I'm just writing that there to remind myself like, hey, you've done it. Like there's no more losing weight. We're here. Let's maintain it. I don't know, what have you seen from me and that? You see me every day.
I mean, it's hard to like in terms of weight loss, it's hard to notice if I see you every day, but I noticed watching your volleyball last weekend, you looked way more athletic and jumping higher and all of that. So I could definitely tell like on the court.
Okay. And that's the point, right? So like I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think like leading up to the season, since I'm already hit like a new level of athleticism and we're about to get to the season, to me, I don't think there's a big need to tweak a lot of that now. Now it would just be, can we maintain it?
Yep, that's all you can do during season. You don't want to make any big changes.
What were some things for you when you were playing indoor volleyball at North Texas? How did your peaking cycles go? Did you?
I mean, during the off season, we worked really hard on conditioning and weightlifting, so getting stronger, working on our jump mechanics, things like that, plyos. But as we got into the season, we didn't kill ourselves practicing a whole lot. We just maintained, but I felt like every season towards the end of the season, I was playing my best volleyball at the very end because all we were doing was like maintaining and working on like skills and teamwork type things at practice during season, and then playing, we had 2 to 3 matches a week. So by the tournament, we were like on it.
Yeah, it's so funny because to me, I had the opposite experience. Because my off seasons, I made them so intense and so like much of a grind, like what I've kind of done right now. Like I killed myself so much that it wasn't ramping up. I was ramped up when the season started, and then by the end of the season my body was completely broken. And like it was playing the worst. Like if you watch my stats every season, which I would always go back and look at, you'd be like, oh, he's averaging 23 points a game. And this happened season after season. So averaging 23, and then a month later he's averaging 20, and then a month later he's averaging 18, and then down to like 16. And it was just always it was never the upward, it was always downward.
Yeah, I think that's the opposite of how it should be going, from my experience at least, because the end of the season is like the most important in the NCAA, like that's what matters. So you want to be playing your best. But I think that's also the difference between guys and girls. Like you guys can go literally 100%, whereas women just physically can't. Our bodies are different in that regard, but that's also your mentality.
It's hurting me right now.
You go 100% all the time until something breaks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's something you've got to
Well, I think that's a great segue
work
into our
on.
next segment here, because I think this is kind of what I came up with yesterday was the mindful. Yesterday, I had this may possibly epiphany moment. It will be an epiphany moment if it works. Is I think the mindfulness and meditation is something for me, especially that can really help unwind my inner tension, which I think causes a lot of my back pain and leads me to working out too much. So I'll give you an example because my friend Nate Yang, my partner Nate Yang, explained this very well to me. He's like, "Look, Mike, your standards are like, here's the ceiling. Your standards are here. They're super high. And guess what? Most people can't meet your standards. And that's stressful for you every step of the way." He's like, you're like, we're practicing at 8. If you show up at 8:02, you're a freaking jerk. And you just obsess over how mad you are about just that little thing. And he's like, I think if you just learn to like kind of open up and relax a little bit and really place like more focus on emphasis at things that actually matter, because like that doesn't actually matter. I mean, it does, like over time. If the guy's going to keep showing up like late to practice, that's a problem. The guy's showing up at 8:02 for a practice for a sport that doesn't pay any money, right? Like, it's like, all right, what do you think?
I definitely agree with what Nate said.
What about for you? Are you, so I don't, it's something that I know in our Groselle household we don't do a ton of, like just unfiltered, no social media, like just quiet to ourselves time. But what have you experienced from that in the past for you?
I mean, the last couple of weeks I've been trying to do more like less screen time. I heard a quote the other day. It said, "Try to do more things." What was it? It was do more things that distract you from looking at your phone or something like that. And I thought that was really cool. Like do more things that are like interesting to you, that you don't need your phone or a screen, a computer or whatever, a device.
So would a good example of that be like going to the rock climbing gym and climbing?
Yeah, working out, reading, playing with your dog, talking with people, hot tub, hiking,
Yeah.
doing arts and crafts. Like there's so many things, cooking.
Love it. Cooking. I've been cooking a lot lately. My little anabolic recipes. Thanks, Coach Greg Doucette and Remington James. Got a plug. Get a plug. Maybe maybe I can talk to them sometime.
Yeah. Maybe you can come up with a recipe and share.
Now that's a thought. All right. Well, that's all I had for today. Do you got anything to add? What do you think? You think I'm on the right path?
Well, I agree with your meditation. I think you've definitely gotten away from that because I know you were doing it before. And for me, like I've never really been big into it, but I've been putting more of a focus on like leaving my phone, at least the last couple of weeks, like leaving my phone, not looking at it, just doing other things and like trying to forget about my phone, because that's where deep thinking comes in and you can really like take a step back. But yesterday on Facebook, Ty Peterson put a post that he's having really bad back pain, and he hasn't had back pain in a while, and he forgot like how debilitating and how shitty and how much it sucks to have back pain. And now that he's experiencing it, he's like, holy shit, like I've got to do something about it. So kind of like you. And he said he went and did hot yoga, and it totally changed everything. And so he asked people to leave comments and if they've done hot yoga, if it's helped their back, what they thought. And like, he's probably got like 30 comments on there. People just like, yes, this works. I swear by it. Go do hot yoga if you have back pain.
So
I haven't done it in years. I haven't had back pain until like recently, but maybe we should try it.
So I'm getting a little bit of feedback right now. There we go. So I'm not against trying things. This is what I'm trying to figure out with the back pain. And this is the hard part for me, because I'm in the same boat as him, as saying, well, it is alpha priority, right? Because it's gotten to a point where it's so bad that it's detracting from literally everything I'm doing. I mean, it hurts just to stand here. It definitely hurts to sit at the computer. It's not as bad to stand at my standing desk here and work. That hurts, which is a problem because I enjoy working on my stuff. What I was trying to get to is there is no magic bullet in terms of it. It's not one thing. I think it's a combination of things that you're consistently holding up, right?
Well, he wasn't saying that that's going to fix your back, but it was definitely a pain reliever for him. Like he felt way better afterwards. So with yoga comes meditation. So I thought that would be like a really good combination for you.
So I'll give you an example from yesterday, because it was the first day I did hot tub meditation, which I sat in the hot tub. I usually get in there 30 minutes a day. Sat in the hot tub, and for the last about a little less than 10 minutes, it was probably like 8 minutes to be exact, I just sat there and breathed, like just breathe, try to, like, if a thought came in, I'd just focus like on the warmth of the hot tub or my breath. And when I got done, my back hurt significantly less. So the question is, what attributed to it? Was it the release of the tension? Was it the hot tub? Was it because it was the end of the day? I think it's an accumulation of things, is my point, right? Like, if you're not sleeping well, you're going to have back pain. If you're working in awkward, what Kelly Starrett calls douchebag positions, right? Or in this, that's gonna, like, that hurts my back to do that, to like dump all that forward. If you're looking down all the time, looking up, if you're in these awkward positions, that's gonna cause back pain. If you're working out too much, like you're beyond the capacity of your core stability and things, like playing a volleyball tournament, that's going to cause back pain. If you have a shitty diet that's full of inflammatory foods, that's going to cause back pain. And I think there's another mind body connection that what he stumbled upon is, like, he may be dialed in a lot of those things, but he wasn't dialed in the mind body connection. And so when he made that last part, that last thing, it seemed like that was the one thing, but really it's all the things he did, and he was missing that last part of it. Does that make sense?
Could be. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I don't know his whole story.
Yeah. Well, that's the story I'm trying to write. Right. That's what I'm trying to fight through is like, what are all the components? Maybe label percentage of which one really is the highest percentage on that scale, because they're not all weighted equally, but they definitely all contribute. Anyway, any more things you want to add? Sorry, I just had to go on that little rant.
That's all I got.
All right, cool. Well, this is the first time having a guest on for my daily grind. If you want to be a guest, hit me up. You're gonna have to get up early to talk with me. Nate Yang, I'm gonna try to get you on tomorrow. If you're listening to this, I'm gonna send you a text and see if you want to.
Nay.
Nay, nay, bird. All right. Thanks, everyone.